Have you ever looked at a nostalgic motorcycle like this 1998 Yamaha R1 and wondered if it's still a relevant choice as a motorcycle to ride in 2024? Nostalgic motorcycle, see what I did there? No? All right. Let's keep going. There are some of you out there that may not even know what this beast is. This bike right here is the first time the world saw the R1 for the very first time. The poster bike of the 90s, the first modern 1000cc motorcycle. This bike started it all. But when you compare it to today's 200 horsepower, ultra lightweight beast with all the bells and whistles, does it even make sense? Is it even safe to ride? Will it get you killed?
Let's get this straight. This bike may be old, 26 years old to be exact, but 26 years ago, this was the most advanced motorcycle at the time. This bike was top dog. There is no ifs, ands, or buts about it.
This bike had the first stacked gearbox, where the gear set's up here and not way down here like all the motorcycles that came before it. It's a design they still use today.
That gave this bike a longer swing arm, which is almost the same size as the one that they use on the current R1, albeit the new design does look a little bit cooler.
The brakes on this bike are probably the only thing that would give away the age of this motorcycle. Compared to modern motorcycles, they do leave a little bit to be desired. They're still 4-piston monoblock calipers. However, these are axial mounted, which means they're bolted from the side, compared to the modern day radial mounted, which means they're bolted this way.
While riding at these slow speeds, you really may not notice the difference, but when you really get on it and you start pulling on that lever, you will notice that these brakes just aren't as stiff as direct. The lever has a little bit more pull than current modern bikes. Modern brakes are better. There's no way around it. But don't be fooled. This bike will still stop better than any sort of modern cruiser or motorcycle that is not a sport bike. And these were probably the best brakes around at the time, 26 years ago when this bike came out.
The suspension on this thing is not as outdated as you would think either. They're 41mm upside down forks that are fully adjustable front and rear. This
bike is slightly less flickable than modern bikes, but as soon as you get it leaned over and on the side of the tire, it handles just as good. But I will say this, the suspension is softer than modern bikes, so the ride's a little bit more plush for riding on the road. And it does this.
Which brings us to the big kahuna, the engine. This glorious 998cc inline 4-cylinder. With its crazy 5-valve per cylinder design, it's basically extinct, but it sounds glorious. Just listen to it.
The way this bike makes power is outstanding. It may only be 150 horsepower and 80 foot-pounds of torque, but trust me, the way this bike makes power in the middle can be described as just brute force. This bike has a mid-range that's unmatched by most modern motorcycles. This bike has no rider aids at all. And even though I own and have ridden faster motorcycles, this is the only motorcycle that really gets my heart racing when I do this.
I don't know what it is. It may be the age or the way that it delivers power, but this bike over any other motorcycle I've ridden makes me think before I go like this. In all honesty, I think I'm a little scared of this thing, and that's something that not even new bikes can do. I started this video off by asking if this bike was still relevant in 2024, and the answer is God, yes. These older bikes have a thing that us riders like to call character or soul, but this bike, my bike, makes me feel a way that no modern motorcycle can. If you want to say I have the newest, fastest, most powerful bike, by all means, get a motorcycle every single year, because that's always changing. But if you want to say, well, I have the first, well, there's only one of those. Always remember, guys, old bikes rule. If you made it this far in the video, comment below. Let me know what your favorite classic motorcycle is. And also, if you want to see a true classic review of me actually riding and giving my impressions on this bike, also comment below. I'd love to give you my thoughts and impressions on what this bike is actually like to ride as I'm doing it. Peace out, guys. Thank you for watching. Old bikes rule.